First fire up. My sb-220. That says I'm only getting about 2800. Currently have it on SSB, which is high voltage. My probe, my Fluke 6 kilowatt probe is telling me differently. So I think it's mostly just because it's sitting on its side. But either way, I don't care what that needle tells me. It's relative. Fact is, it's strong. It's got 2 iMac tubes in it. One looks like it's in pristine condition. The other one, not so much. She's had a hard life. Real hard life from what I can tell. But I've got high voltage in here right now, so my hand is very far away, like a foot. Got vacuum relays for the signal out, the RF out. It's got a toroidal filament choke. It's got the Harbach soft start, which everyone says is not necessary. It's got a Harbach soft key, which brings the voltage down so that you can key it with most modern radios versus having 100 volts plus coming out, coming back. The grids, again, my finger is still a foot away plus. The grids have been grounded with copper bands. The bands are a little long. It'd be ideal if they just drilled new holes right next to them instead of running them to an existing screw point in the corner. But they're grounded, so I'm happy with that. Electrolytic's been replaced. It's got the suppression, transient suppression, MOVs, metal oxide varistors. I don't know what that guy is. It has something to do with the soft key, but I don't know what. But it's definitely a homebrew thing. I think it's maybe even to step down the voltage even more. I'm not sure what that is. But it definitely goes between the soft key and the radio, so some sort of voltage regulator, so I think it steps it down even more. But so far, very, very happy. Happy. See if you can see the tubes lighting up. Keep my distance. There's the older starter style iMac, and then the newer style iMac, and as you can see, it's glowing, but she's a little dim, but there's no smoke. And so next, oh, it's also got the Harbach metering board. It's got the Harbach capacitors. It's got a Harbach fan. I think it's even got the Harbach meters. It's definitely been blown up at least once. I can tell the 20 meter output down there has been fried. You can see a little burn mark right there by that stud, top of the screen. It's missing the little tiny like 8.5 millihenry choke that goes before the main plate choke. It's got the Harbach anti-parasitic resistors and coil. I actually ordered another set of horseshoes. The capacitors, they're hard. If I dig my fingernail hard enough in them, they do take the fingernail print, so I got a new set of those blocking capacitors coming. The tank coil is in pretty good shape. It's not oxidized, even though it is silver plated. The input band down there. Let's see if I can turn the light on. The input band switch down there. Nothing looks burnt up, along with that ALC circuit. Not burnt up. So I think what happened was they had a tube fail, and he got a brand new iMac, put it in there, and that was it. And shortly after got rid of it, I think, because 20 meter band was burned out. So I'm assuming he was a 20 meter band guy, and that that band switch, the back one, is impossible to get. If anybody has them, they want an arm and a leg for them, so the guy probably just offed it and bought, you know, a more modern, you know, 1500 watt unit. Now that's a 2 kilowatt linear amplifier, 2 kilowatts of input into the tubes with a 60 to 70% efficiency rating, depending on bias. So expect 1300 out with 100 watts drive. But being that my band switch is already burned up, I'll probably mono band this thing and get 2 kilowatts output with, once I probably replace that tube. Again, my hand's far away. So, see what the low voltage is. Takes a second to come down. Bleed resistors. I think it sits right around 2500. On the screen it says 2100. I really think it's just because it's laying on its side. I did that because I didn't want to put it on this metal container without the armor on it. But it does seem to only run on 240. I did the, where is it? I did the 120 volt conversion there, and it's just all kinds of unhappy. With the switch off, and I apply power, with the switch off, but plugged into the wall, the fan spins slowly, and I get 1000 volts on the plate. With the switch on, I get no high voltage, and the fan runs at full speed. So I think there's supposed to be 4 wires that come to this terminal strip. There's only 3, so he's got one of them running, I think, up to this this little bonding post there that should be back here, and it's just, it throws the windings out of being able to go parallel series somehow. But I figured, you know what, I might as well try it on 240, and it works. So I'm happy. Sitting over at 24, look how fast it goes up to 3,000. Pow. So that's strong. She's good and strong. She's happy. I'm happy. I'm gonna try to put a dummy load on it tonight now. Well, first, I have to connect the high voltage to the tubes and look for plate amps. Right now there should be no plate amps because the plate's not connected to nothing. So as long as I get a decent idle current of like 2.2 amps or 200 milliamps, then I'll be happy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try one at a time. I'm going to try the bad one first. Maybe I should try the good one first. I'm going to try the good one first and see what it should be. So with one bulb, one tube, it should be at 100 milliamp, 2 tubes, 200 milliamp. So I'm going to do that. So we'll go ahead and shut this off. Oh yeah, first time, you know, they're way out of cal, but we'll just ignore that. We'll say I did the air test. It's 3,000 volts, man. Still 1,500 in it, coming down. So I'll wait till that gets to about 5 volts. Put the glove on, short it to ground, hold it there for a little bit. I'm not waiting 30 minutes. Ain't nobody got time for that. And so right now, 0.7 volts is still 700 volts. Every 1 volt is 1,000 with that probe. Which at one point it was calibrated, so that means it's, you know, something to someone. Or it means nothing to a lot of people. Sweet. I got tubes.